Welcome to Survival Theory. I'm out here on some ranch land in Texas, and I came out here to do a 3-day challenge where, alright, so I was going to come out here with just the clothes on my back and a small plastic bottle of water, and that's it. No knife, no ferro rod, no matches, nothing like that, just the clothes and the small container of water. And my objective was, after 48 to 72 hours, have a shelter built, have a fire going, and have a way to filter and purify water so I can drink it, so I can stay hydrated. And also to start feeding myself, whether that's through snares, fishing, grasshoppers, bugs, whatever. So that was my objective. And after I explored the land, I probably went about 1.5 miles, just kind of traversing the land, and I saw too many things that made it too easy. So I dropped the challenge. So I'll retrace my steps, and I'll show you why it became too easy. Let's get busy. So my thought process was, first thing I need to do is get a fire going. That'll help me cook anything I catch, purify water, if I'm able to purify it by boiling it somehow. Smoke, keep the bugs away. So that means I'm going to have to go find some flint or some petrified wood, smash it up, get some razors and some, sharp pieces from that. Probably get a bow drill going. It's springtime. There's edible plants blooming all over the place, so that's pretty cool. But I'm going to need more than just some leaves to eat. Now this is blackberry that you see. The flowers are edible. You're not going to see any ripe berries yet. There's one starting. But the flowers are edible. The leaves are edible. The stems are edible. And those are everywhere. And another thing, the grasshoppers are out. Huge source of protein. I've got a hat, makes it easier to catch grasshoppers. There's also ants. I can get a bunch of ants if I can kind of roast them a little bit. Okay, so here's the first thing. I started making the challenge look easier. I found this. It's an old pan. See, I can wash that out in the stream. See what it looks like. Rub some sandstone on it. Get it real clean. Bend it back out. I've already got a pan. Boiling water, cooking grasshoppers. I'm going to put it right back. So when I found that pan, I thought, well, I can't ignore that because, hey, it's out here. I'm trying to survive. You got to use what you find. And so I thought, well, that gave me a big jump. So I went looking around to see if there's any area with rocks so I could make a knife. And I just started finding too many discarded items from the past that would make survival not really that much of a challenge. And look here. Here's an active game trail. Something of decent size going in and out of there. So that would be somewhere to set a snare or a deadfall trap. Probably make a pretty good dinner with whatever's going in and out of there. And look how beautiful that is. All those blue bonnets. Beautiful. State flower bluebonnet. And this is Texas, so I have to do the standard, customary, mandatory bluebonnet picture. And here along the creek, of course, there's all kinds of rocks I can bust up. I might be able to find some flint, which is going to break easier, or some petrified wood, so I can make some cutting tools. So walking along the creek, looking for resources. Check this out. Look at all that metal. And there's some kind of pan right there. Well, it's got a hole in it. There's a pan lid. I mean, heck, I could cook food in that. And look, an old screen. I could use that as a pre-filter. Make some kind of net. Go to a pond. Try to catch some small fish. There's all kinds of barbed wire. Other wire I can... Well, look at this. Well, that's a little too stiff, but... I see some... That looks like an old television. Oh yeah, real flexible wire. Might be able to make some snares out of that. If nothing else, at least some fishing line, so I don't have to try to make some. There's just all kinds of stuff here. Now this stuff's been here probably close to 50 years. Say 40 to 50 years. And look, if I were to dig around, there's probably a lot more down in there. And look, there's some glass. Might be able to use that glass for fire starting or a water container. I tell you, the more you look around, the easier survival becomes. Now, there's some water there, but I've actually seen better water in other parts of the creek. So water is not really an issue, just getting it purified. Some cactus coming up. Some edible cactus. And look at there. An old bottle. I'm not sure what kind it is. But that's definitely an old bottle. Probably been out here for decades and decades. So there's another container right there. Oh, can you see that trail? That is definitely a trail. It's an older trail. The new grass is coming in over the worn dirt. It's probably an old cow trail right there. And look, a natural resource. There's a bird's nest. Nice and crispy. Good for fire building. Here's what made everything too easy. Look at all this. Now this stuff's been here 50 years-ish. Maybe recently someone's, every 10 years or so someone will add to it. But I know that stuff down at the bottom is 50 plus years old. And people have been adding to it every once in a while. Look at this wagon. It's missing a wheel, but if it wasn't, well, there's my cart. There's a chair, an aluminum chair frame. So I don't need to bushcraft a chair. Look at that. I could get that going. Put some wire mesh over it, or some bars or sticks. There's all kinds of metal here to use. Make a secure perimeter. Here's an old pot. But look at this. Ta-da! That right there is a pan. A pot. And look at this. Now I have two pots. another glass, an aluminum can. It might have holes in it, but another glass, some more aluminum, some mesh here. Now I wouldn't cook on this because I think that's galvanized, but you're getting the idea. Look at all these steel poles, steel grate. That's not galvanized. I clean that up with the sandstone. Cook right on that. Look, so now I've got a grill, pans, pots, lids. Got glass. There's more chairs there. There's a lid over there. Looks like a stainless steel or aluminum. There's another pot. Some kind of old netting. It's probably not good anymore. There's some more mesh for fishing. Yeah, that's some good mesh for fishing there. Look at all this cordage to make snares from, fishing line, whatever. There's some other wiring around here. So based on what's on this land around me, it wouldn't really be a survival challenge. Although I really shouldn't call it a survival challenge because, you know, for 3 days, how do you survive? You just don't die. I could curl up against a tree and probably survive. But my goal was to begin purifying and drinking water and begin food intake, whether that's grasshoppers, game, birds, whatever I can catch, whatever I can find, plants, etc. And also to get a shelter built. So within 72 hours, I expected to be on the path to sustainment, let's put it that way. But with everything I found along the creek and out in these gullies, and it just, it wasn't really a challenge. It was more like just living uncomfortably for a few days. You know, being hungrier than you want to be and kind of miserable. Because all the tools are handed to me. As a matter of fact, if I dug around in that pile long enough, based on what I saw there, there's probably a kitchen knife in there. So, all too easy. So I guess the purpose of this short video is just to point out what's available out there if you go out and look for it, especially in these more open areas, these ranch lands, because back in the day, these ranchers and farmers just dumped things in creeks and in gullies because no one knew any better, which also poses a risk about what chemicals or metals may be in a nearby water source because of the dumping that's been done there. So keep your eye out for that. But, you know, the resources are out there. More than likely, someone's been on that land before you. There's been a home near that area at one point in time. So there might be resources out there. Unless you're out in a national forest and, you know, the land has just overtaken any signs of habitation. But in these more open areas, that stuff will be there 100 years from now probably. Just a little more rusted, but that's about it. The important thing is to get outside, have some fun, explore the world. Thanks for watching Survival Theory. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.